It's Friday and I'm ready to sing. Pick up my girls and hit the party scene tonight. Yeah, right. That's not how I sing.
Oh, they make a move to the deep. That's how I don't go to karaoke because I do not know music.
Oh, Friday.
Will you shut up?
Who's asking?
You shut up.
Hey.
Of all the people to even speak about after work.
When are we going to karaoke?
You.
Should we tell them?
Let's go on. It's all right. Let us not spoil classics for you. It's a Friday. We're so happy to be here. Let me say it again. It's Friday! Welcome to Jasiri, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick reminder, if you're a small business owner, you may want to rewatch yesterday's episode of Jasiri because you definitely get one or two insights to navigate this season of our economy. And if you missed any episode this week, thank God for the weekend. Binge watch all our episodes on our social media platforms. Of course, we do that because we love you. Miss Amores. Oh, my loves. It's not only Catherine that speaks for you.
I love it.
Anyway, let's start what we came here to do. Yeah. Today, we're bringing you the hottest topics of the week and serving up the spiciest conversations in town.
No jokes. Now, while we are still waiting for the federal government to give more information on our new national anthem contest, a TikTok user, AZinspired.lyrics, has released his own version. Ladies, I need you to listen to this because we're going to yay or nay the heck out of this video.
I love Fridays. Hi.
Nigeria, we are hungry, no food in our dear land. New anthem will not make us proud when price of things are high. Nigeria's almost managed now, till God give government sense. Nigeria, we are hungry, our leaders sow their sense. Yam, beans and rice, the poor man's best is far from common ends. Nigeria's almost managed now, till God give government sense. Oh God of all creation, you like to improve lives. Fuel price is high when oil is out, unemployment on rise. Nigeria's almost managed now, till God give government sense.
Wow. Oh,
Brilliant.
Anyone that tells me Nigerians are not creative, as funny as it sounds, honestly, everybody just finds a way of, just speaking their truths, how they truly feel.
Yes, so.
See the words in the lyrics. Which of it does not make sense?
Thank you. I would sing it confidently over. And you know the funny thing, this is the anthem that will stick with the command.
Just wait until people jump on this
I
channel.
already know the
Government can never approve an anthem that says until government says. Come on.
They will not approve it. But
This is a street anthem.
This is a street anthem.
And it can be a street anthem.
But you see, the creativity that wrote this is the same creativity that will write a better anthem for the nation. Isn't that what we said from the beginning? Why put something out? They say, oh no, the competition is about the sound or the instrumentation and not the words.
It has everything to do with the words. I mean, I say you can deny it all you want. You cannot deny your reality. And like we said, it's a street anthem, and we know what happens with street anthems. I love street anthems.
I won't even lie, I'm proud of this guy. I mean, the lyrical composition, the thing was even rhyming at the end.
Yes.
Kudos to you.
We couldn't, I got on it from the second line.
Honestly, I was busy harmonizing here. Even our musician did not even try to bring
I think it took her a while.
Talent.
Yeah, I was carried away.
Oh, you are always away.
If you were carried away, you could have hummed.
I'm always away. You're always away.
You're the one calling
The
for
shade on
karaoke.
this show. Wow. The shadiness on this show.
We shade for a living.
But anyway, you know that as Blessings was introducing that video, she was saying we need to yay or nay. So all in favor say yay.
Yay.
Yay. It's okay.
Don't go for more
name.
Nigerians.
Don't go to names.
There's no
I even
point in
want it to
name.
become like a challenge where people just jump on the sound and, you know, add some more gruesome.
lyrics would happen.
To the gruesome.
Do you know what would happen if people jumped on this?
Oh my God, you will see lyrics there.
They will add
lyrics,
they'll add more sounds, they'll add more jim, more gang, more.
You go, if all those choir, that's 121 seller.
Those guys,
loud.
it's true.
Pick up this. What to party?
Or 500, is it 500 choir or something?
Whatever choir. Even your own personal choir.
It will enter. Okay.
Honestly, Nigerians, we are really, really different. Honestly, this country, we're cut in a different cloth. Nobody can tell me that.
I have to go and look for him. I have to look for his handle on.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the reactions of Nigerians to this. Because it's so easy to jump on. The lyrics make so much sense.
Yeah.
We laugh about them, but it's the reality.
It's the reality.
And you cannot deny the way we are right now.
Rice and beans was food for common man.
I did tell you.
It's now above their reach.
He even said it, that new anthem will not make us proud.
Yeah.
In the song.
You see, we got it already. You know, we got
TikTok
on the lyrics
user,
like this.
he got us on the
Yeah.
lockdown. More lyrics be pouring in.
And that is only from one person. Tolu, why are you quiet though?
I don't know.
It's the red lippy. Why Tolu is on it? She just gets onto those.
Tolu is chewing on this.
You know,
and
Marilyn
answer
Monroe.
whether she's a yay or nay. She thought she was gonna escape that.
said?
Do you know? Lord blessings. Did you hear her say yay or nay?
She did not. She took the
Tolu
opportunity
is
to
on
ask the questions. So that she
Oh, that's her pee.
I don't understand. You don't know.
Spoil me
I don't
pee.
know. What is it?
Yeah, spoil me.
Spoil me.
Yeah.
When she read that red lippy.
No, but yay or nay though.
Mr.
I'm in
Roti.
between.
No, just take
Yene?
it. Staycation. Yene.
You have to stick his stance.
I give him his props for creativity, but I'm just thinking about the fact that we're at this point where this is our anthem. Like something that's supposed to be a source of pride and inspiration, and they messed it up again. You're messing up yet another opportunity to somehow unite and inspire Nigeria. It's just depressing.
No, of course, it's depressing.
sad.
What do you expect the guy to do when we're talking about 21 billion?
That's
the part you like. All right, guys. Yes, that's the part you like.
I want all those girls that can do this side dance. To give me, to help me to dance to yes, since they like twerking, let's go add it on.
Guys, it's Hot Topic Special. You already know how we already know we don't do it alone. So after the break, our special guest will join us on Just Serious. Stay tuned to find out who our guest is. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the show. Our guest is in the studio with us, and if you're just joining us, it's time for Hot Topic Special O'Clock. Let's do this. We'll be Yes, we decided to bring you back one of the baddest OAPs to the show again because it's bad like that. He's my brother and my friend. I'm talking about Tyeng Gang, whom some of you may call, you call him Gang.
Gang.
You already know he's quite the conversationist, and that's why we brought him here, because it's all about Jasiri Gang. So Gang is on Jasiri Gang. Hey,
anytime I see
he's
gang,
not
you know what comes to my
working.
mind?
What?
You know me, who?
Gang.
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 You know, that song has changed my name and the way people even spell it.
Really?
Yes, because his own
spell
name
your
is
name.
G-Y.
It's no gang.
It's G-A-N-G, like the English word. But now people are spelling it G-E-N-G.
Oh, Gang.
To make it sound because of that song. So Mayoko, see what you've done to me.
If you don't know, Gang was one of my first orgasms when I started radio. In Cool FM Abuja, after I won broadcaster,
Yeah.
they put, oh God.
A long time ago.
You
won a
long time ago.
competition?
I won a
Yeah.
competition. I beat like over 200 people. That's
Damn,
where my journey
girl.
started. My journey is like, these are people who know my journey.
So you know her dirty stories.
I was been good.
It's funny, she didn't really have any dirty stories.
That
Because
you
she doesn't
know
look
of.
like.
When she was
That
about
you
to
know
start
of.
getting dirty stories, someone snatched her off the market and stuff.
before you dirty yourself.
Keep this dirt from me alone.
Funny enough, he often knows my husband. No, my work and my is really intertwined. It's funny. Blessings, let's go. Gang is here. Let's
I
maximize
had the
this.
privilege of working with him once, and I was starstruck. I'm like,
You were starstruck?
I know. Gang is fantastic.
well, I know
to
how to
listen
hide
to
it
on
too.
radio.
I'm looking at it like, hi. Like, oh my God.
I was going to ask you, how are you when you're starstruck? Because your blessings
you would
always
never
so
know.
good. Yeah.
You would never know.
The star is stuck inside.
Say good morning. Oh yeah, morning. Oh my God. All right. So before we get into our first hot topic, I mean, gang is here. Gang is here, and I believe that you're aware that Nigeria is planning to send a civilian to space, right?
Yeah, I heard that story and I laughed.
No. Please, what was your first? Please, to God,
His
what's
first
your
reaction was he
laughed.
laughed.
I laughed. My first reaction was, will the shuttle take off from Nigeria? That was what I was thinking. Because if first of all,
Why will you see the electricity too?
I was wondering, how will the shuttle, it better not take off from here. Because I just don't trust that it'll get there in one piece.
It will. It will.
But guys, remember, we're not the ones financing this project.
We don't give a what?
And
We don't give a
happening
gang.
here.
We don't give a gang.
And I heard the process they want to even use to select the Nigerians that will be part of the
It's voting, it's
the trip.
democratic.
And you know, anything that involves voting in Nigeria, get as it be.
Would you be willing
but
to
yeah,
go there?
No, well, see, now I would only be willing to go if my family is insured that if anything happens to me, they get like a substantial amount.
A
to take care
payout,
of
some
them.
kind of insurance.
It will
payout.
not happen immediately.
You know?
It's my happen.
But you know, in
When you
Nigeria,
come
they'll
back.
tell you the government that sent you to space is no longer here.
Yeah. Or they say maybe when you're coming back, say you can't land. You're not Nigerian anymore. You can't land in Nigeria.
That's why immigration will be asking you that. Did you have this visa?
But it's really scary that you know, we want development.
Yeah,
we want
of
Nigeria
course.
to get to that place where we can be engaging in these kind of things. But the fact that we really don't even trust our infrastructure that much is the sad part. But then at the same time, for Nigerians, if it eventually happens, I wish them well. You're gonna have to pay me. Here's the thing: some people want to do it for free, but for me, you're gonna have to pay me to do it.
Why, Sha? Why do you feel, why do these people, why? Do they come to, in all the countries on earth, in all the countries in Africa, is it because we are too many and perhaps?
We're too many. We need to cut down our population.
But how many people are they going to be able to send into space?
But
Catholic,
this country is one of the most generous. You know, when you come here, we give you more than our, even if you come and sell idea to see, you sold idea, take money.
People are not nice.
Why us? Why did they go to Sudan? Kenya?
Sudan is in the middle of a war.
Rwanda.
Okay, Kenya.
They won't get the press.
Rwanda.
We have a history of selling people for anything. I mean, we sold people to collect mirrors, so what are you saying? Anyway, in our first hot topic, guys, we're going to be talking about a man from Delta State, Nigeria, whose name is Nelson Eserada, who faked his own kidnapping with the help of an accomplice, which is his uncle, Jerry Lawrence.
Uncle Jerry.
And then demanded a 50 million naira ransom from his father. Now, Eserada's father paid 5 million naira in Bitcoin for the police, using intelligence, before the police, using intelligence-led investigation, apprehended, wow, that's impressive, by the way, apprehended both suspects. Now, the police are continuing their investigation into the incident. There's a whole lot more to this story. Let's take a quick look.
My name is Jerry Lawrence, and I'm here for the case of self-kidnap. So I, the person standing by my side is my nephew. I used to live with his dad, his parents, my uncle. So I summoned him from Abrakawe schools down to Warri to come visit me, that I have a PlayStation 4 for him. So when he came, I confided in him that I'm in financial troubles and we can actually get money from daddy by faking a kidnap, to which he agreed. And then we chained him in my apartment, blindfolded him, and we sent a video to his parents demanding for the sum of 50 million naira, to which they eventually paid 5 million. I've used 2 million from it. I still have 3 million in my wallet.
3 million in your wallet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when did you send him to Calabar?
It was on Saturday when the heat was becoming too much, and
When you say heat, what do you mean by heat?
the police were tracking down on us.
How did you know police were tracking down on you?
Because the father would actually send messages from the department in the family group. And since I'm a member of the family group, I was seeing everything. So I knew that it was getting close. I had to send him to Calabar.
How long you have lived with them and now you are related to them?
I've lived with them for over 11 years now. The father is more like my cousin, but because of the age difference, I call him my uncle.
What's your name?
Yes, Rada Nelson.
Your age?
20.
20. Yeah, tell us why, what brought you here?
My uncle summoned me from Abaka.
Who is your uncle?
G. Lawrence, right next to me. Right next to me.
Okay.
He told me to come over to his place in Warri. Before I left, he said I shouldn't tell anybody. So when I got to Warri, he told me that he has a PS4 that he wants to give me. So then the true purpose of him calling me over was because he was in financial crisis and he needed money from my father. So I had to agree, and we both plotted on a fake kidnap. So I did anything he asked me to do. I did videos and voice notes, took pictures, and it was sent to my dad.
Okay.
And eventually, my dad sent 5 million naira in Bitcoin.
Okay.
G. Lawrence used 3 million, 2 million, and 3 million was still in his wallet, and no money was.
My God.
Should I add that this boy, the one that they kidnapped, chained, and tortured and sent video, did not see a kobo of the money? The uncle did not share a kobo out of the 5 million and has spent 2 million already.
That's why he collected this one, because it no get sense. Say, come, let's use you.
No, but from what he said he agreed to help, that his uncle was in financial
against
problems.
his father.
Hey, but have we not seen that this is becoming a pattern? Have you not seen that this is not the first story we're hearing about children or young people kidnapping themselves or being in a team or a gang where they kidnap themselves and demand
gang.
And they kidnap themselves. But you know what I find very distressing and dangerous is the way Nigerians become copycats. It's like in our MO. Before you know it, the more they see these kind of stories, the more you will begin to hear more of these kinds of stories. Because they are copycats. Yeah. It's just like when, that seems to be our thing. What is it about young people and money?
Okay, let's hear Gang. Yeah, let's hear from Gang.
Well, first off, those are two people that we should send to space and not come back. First off,
I love
those are two people that should go to space and not return. Like she said, there's been a lot of copycatting because even in the north, and I've heard stories in Abuja and other parts of the country, where people have tried to get money from their parents, but because they couldn't, they decided to fake kidnapping and tax their parents. These people don't even look like people that can give you that amount of money.
Yeah.
50 million naira. What does the naira become that the value just seems like people just call certain amounts?
Yes.
You want money from your father, so he should bring 50 million naira. What do you plan on doing with 50 million naira? Just imagine if you have a child and he gets 50 million naira now, you're going to know that something has happened with that child.
Yeah.
When you come out from your kidnapping den or whatever, and your lifestyle won't change.
What will you use the money for?
You know, I wonder how smart people are when they go that extra mile to actually involve. People like this can actually kill their parents.
Yeah. Hey. I was going to ask. I look at the trust. What does that say about trust in that family? So you gang up with your uncle against your own father. And this is your father who ran helter-skelter to put money together for your release.
Well, Catherine, you know they are going to blame somebody that we all know.
The mother?
The devil.
Oh, okay.
The devil is the culprit in this particular situation.
And now, they put them, when I just watched that video, these are actually signs that these people will be future kidnappers.
Or criminals.
Or criminal.
Whatever it may be.
Did you not hear the confidence in the uncle's voice?
Yeah.
He was articulate, he was very vocal, and he even said he lived with this family.
For 11 years.
So if somebody had helped your family that much, they took you to feel
I'm even
empathy.
shocked that the Bitcoin actually works for them. And
I don't even know about that because they also said that part of the reason, so he ended up having to send his nephew to Calabar when the heat became too much. And how did he know? Because the father was sending updates in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
There's a Yoruba saying that says, Kokroto Jefo, Lowa. It means that the devil or the evil or the enemy that is around you is inside, is with you.
Inside job.
And so when you think about it, I remember the girl, I think one girl and her boyfriend faked a kidnapping because the father did not want to give her money, and then it's just too much. I appreciate the Delta State Police for putting this out. CSP Bright Edafe was the one who released the video and said he needs to talk to parents. That parents need to know what their kids are doing, who they're involved with. How would you worry about your child going to see their cousin, their uncle? That's the least thing we're worried about.
So I won't blame people who dissociate themselves from extended family. You know, you hear a lot of people say that they don't exactly have it. Yes, maybe weddings, burials, we come together, but adding you to a group chat, in fact, to some extent, when you have, you know, step sister, step this, step that, there's a level or a limit to what Yoruba people say, oreniwo. You know, there's a limit to how you help people. Right? People cannot just come and stay in your house. Again, it depends on, and I feel like we've trivialized this for a long time. This is not the first time this is happening. I remember when I was very young, I had not a friend, like family friend, and then I knew that she connived with her boyfriend to fake a kidnap story and stuff like that, because I saw her. So when the news got out that, oh, she's missing, she posted on there was a WhatsApp or to go, I can't even remember, posted on her story and leaving something, I don't know if it's like video, look, I don't know what she posted.
Look, it was raining there.
Where are you? And she said she traveled with her boyfriend. And then we got to her house and the mom is crying, oh, she's not around, she's been kidnapped, they got a message. I'm laughing, I'm like, I don't understand. Do you know that they sent myself and my mom out of the house that were spreading rumor that she's not missing? I'm like, she's not missing. I know she's not missing. At the end of the day, they involved the police, and police just tagged it youthful delinquency. You know, they're fine. It's just, it happens in the teenage age. So I feel like we have enabled this for a long time, right? People have been doing this. It's not today. But what I say, law enforcement, we don't exactly take it as anything because we feel like, oh, that's something youth will do at some stage in their lives, and that's why we're here.
No, youth will not fake a kidnapping at some stage in their lives.
That's the thing. They made us
It's
believe
the
that.
copy syndrome she's talking about.
And a lack of consequence. So if they saw other people getting consequences for it, it would reduce. Gang, I want to quickly ask you, do you think this boy's parents should beg the court for mercy or see him punished in full? Because the uncle is likely, as the older one and the, the conspirator, the mastermind of it, will likely bear the weight. The family want to say he's the one who's bringing their baby boy to the dark side. But should he bear the consequences, or should the family beg?
They've already involved law enforcement, so they can't exactly take the kid away right now.
But they can beg for mercy, temporary mercy with
justice. But the law has to, take effect.
What if they beg and say that, please, it's a family thing, please, George.
They can do that. They can withdraw a couple of things, but at least we hope he has learned his lesson.
But how do you learn a lesson from this?
You see, as a parent, it's kind of dicey.
It's very dicey.
It's very dicey.
What do you do with your son or your daughter that did something like this?
But I am an advocate for allowing them to be punished.
What would you do?
I am an advocate. Let me tell you, I'm an advocate for allowing children to be punished. Because every time you do not punish, if there's no consequence for sin, you are enforcing that behavior in them. It's just like your son bullied someone and there was no consequence for it. They wanted to maybe punish, you didn't allow. You have just told your child that this is acceptable. And as long, and I don't blame them. This is, you see, when they say that something spoils from the head, this Nigeria, one of our things is that when there are criminal offenses or issues, people do not see a conclusion. So it has formed a fabric of culture for us. When you look at our leaders and you see some of them get away with the most obvious of offenses and crimes. So it just enforces in you that, okay, maybe they'll just put it on social media. And
I'm not going to lie. I really feel
let's take a break. We'll come back to this. Just use that part to wrap up this story. And then we move on to another family-related story. What would you do if you gave your child money for their school fees, but they donated it? Let me use that word. When we come back, you'll find out. So before we move on to our next topic, just a quick moment to wrap up the first one. If you missed it, a young man and his uncle faked a kidnapping, sent a 50 million naira ransom demand to the father, who paid 5 million. 2 million was spent, none of it, a single kobo did not go to the quote-unquote victim. And now we're asking about if it, in fact, was your child who needs to be punished for this crime, would you be willing to punish them? Lolo has given their take. So what were you saying, gang, about that?
I'm a huge advocate of second chances, and this is your flesh and blood. I would give the child another chance.
So it's easy to say, right? But I have seen, again, I watch a lot of documentaries, crime documentaries, and I have seen instances where young people, even siblings, end up killing their entire family. And when you ask why, they'll be like, oh no, we're broke and we needed our parents to give us money. We wanted to rob them at night. There was one I literally saw, they planned a robbery, and they thought that maybe the family would be asleep, and they got in, it didn't go as planned, and that's how they started stabbing and shooting and killing the rest of them. So then it could literally have gone southways.
Well, then again, also you have to look at the family dynamic and find out what happened. How was this child raised? Were you not providing for the child, and he was seeing abundant resources?
This one doesn't look like someone that has sense.
You get me?
That is still enough.
That's still enough. But here's it, like me, my kids, they're too small. But I don't have 50 million naira to give anybody.
Yeah.
So you're wasting your time if you're doing that with me. First and foremost. And my kids don't know I'm ready to ship them off anywhere. So
and they're even girls.
If they just move like this, if they move wrong, bye. Bye.
Captain, what would you do very quickly before we move to the next story?
We will face the consequences. I've always been a consequences person. And my kids know that.
I agree with you.
Do one, take one. You're my child.
Suffer for your sins.
Because you have to think about the future.
Yes.
I have a story. They called my parents. Well, they held me in one store. I can't tell all you the details. They called my parents. I had a story. And both my parents came. And the guy was sitting there. Sorry, are those your parents? I said, yes. He said, you're one of the very few where both parents will come and pick you up. The tongue lashing I received, for the next 6 months, you could not say boo and I will not jump. And so that fear, I've never misguided, miss whatever again. So consequences are vitally important. If it's death, as he said, something extreme, I might ask for mercy, but there still must be a level of consequence.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on to our next hot topic. It's also family related as well. So picture this, your unemployed child takes money that you gave them for school fees and donates it to a religious cause, resulting in their expulsion from school. Now, how would you as the parents respond in this situation? Before we dissect it on the Justice table, let's watch this clip that sets the stage for the discussion.
There was a project we had in church then, and then this young boy, 20 years old, came with a brown envelope. I know he doesn't have a job. I said, where did you get this money? He said, I just felt led to give it. I know you felt led. From where are you bringing this money? It's my school fees. There are some type of gifts you should not receive. What do you need the widow's pension for in the name of generosity? What do you need the pocket money of undergraduates for in the name of generosity? When you are preaching in a university and you ask for 1 million naira seat, you must be wicked. You are either wicked or you are promoting internet fraud. I promise you, if I give my child school fees to pay and he gives you, and you collect it, you will start your prison ministry immediately. Someone was preaching, he was preaching in the US. He said, even if you don't have the money, use your credit card. And it will not end, because when they are in debt and they could not pay, there would be another service, debt cancellation. And for that, you will sow again. Listen, let me tell you something. There are some instances where the people themselves feel stirred by the Spirit to do this thing. But you must make sure, even in preaching, that you don't over-ginger people. There are some seeds you cannot receive. There are some gifts you can't receive if you have conscience. May the Lord help us.
May the Lord help
Amen.
us. Amen. The Church of God said, Amen. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So we start, because we know people have stolen money from bank and gone to go and do testimony and go and do donation in church.
I would even go there. When I was in university, there's a certain fellowship then that it's like a rite of passage for leadership to pay whopping sums. As in, they use it for the general cause of the bigger church outside. You will see it's like a cult. That was when I knew that I was a leader in my fellowship at that time.
In university?
In university. I know people who use their school fees for these seeds that their fellowship asked, this particular fellowship asked them to sow. And they teach them to a point that if you do not know how to sacrifice these things, you can't get ahead spiritually. It's like your rite of passage to be able to move to the next spiritual level. And people have been doing this since year one. So some of them didn't receive any consequence. Maybe they will do this and work and get some other ways of getting money to pay their fees and all that. So this thing that this preacher has said is not new. It's not new. It's been existing. Imagine when I went to school. At least I know.
Was that before or after independence? Just check it.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Gang,
everybody on this table knows I'm 18. So I would not answer your question. I was just recently out of school. I'm just 23. How many years is 23 years?
To 20?
If I see your nose wrinkle, blessings Mosugu.
What do you think, gang?
Okay, now for that, so we're looking for 4 people to go to space. We have those 2.
Why are you bringing us back to
the third person is this person that took their
child.
Now, maybe before the end of the show, we'll have the 4th person. Like she said, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
This is even great. I know people that have gambled their fees, hoping to win something back and be able to pay it. Now, the thing is, some people, I don't know, religion is very dicey and very delicate and sensitive. But like he said, he hit the nail on the head. There's no lie in anything he said. Some people are blinded and don't understand the concept of giving, And then some people say they're led by a certain spirit. There are different spirits that can lead you for different things. But then at the end of the day, to take money that's for fees and feel as if you're going to give it and something will come out of it, at the end of the day, you will wait. And when that doesn't turn around, you now start blaming God and thinking that things don't work.
Or you go back to God and they'll say you should sow again. Your faith was not big enough.
Sow again.
You sow death cancellation. Yeah. You know what? In terms of this, I know there's been a long-standing conversation about whether or not churches need to find a way to confirm the source of money. I can't remember if there's one agency in Nigeria that's also asked. That was, I think, EFCC at one point in time was talking about that as well. And you can in some instances,
not exactly, because
if it's like the traditional churches, Baptists and your members do tithe and everything. When somebody's tithe all of a sudden goes beyond somebody might knock on your door and say, brother,
that's why it is.
But it's not the same in every church.
Yeah, now there's new.
Do we mandate? How can you even mandate that? Because you can't even tell when people come into a windfall.
I'm going to be honest, right? This is not new at all. And in terms of monitoring, it's very hard, right? You see, so these same preachers that vigorously preach about giving would also make measures available in a way that you cannot monitor who is giving, so that at the end of the day they give the excuse that, I didn't know. So you would not see a preacher collect money directly from a student. They'll just tell you, pack it, whatever you have, put in the envelope, and then at the end of the service you're seeing 50,000, 100, and you're like, everybody is a student. Like, I have been to a church and then they would literally call everybody in that church, like, 90% were students, 90%. And then you see during service, almost every Sunday service, and the church is always packed. You see, okay, let's start from 200,000. If you can give 200,000 as a student, you will stand. Then some people out of the pressure, okay, even if I don't have, I want to stand so that they'll see that I love God. And then this ones will stand, 100K will stand. I'll be wondering, I'm too broke for all of this. I can't do all of this ones. You will see people literally after service turn off their phones and drop it on the altar. I'm telling you, like, ushers are picking money and picking phones as seeds. I'm not even joking. And then at the end of the day, maybe the phones will be with the pastor, and then maybe when someone comes, I'm jobless, I'm this, okay, take one phone. Like, people drop their phones, people drop house rents. So it's not even new, I'm not going to lie. And in terms of monitoring, it's almost impossible, because these people make it in a way that they cannot tell you they knew. That social person. I don't know who
what happens then when you know that you cannot say you don't know that 90% of your congregation are students.
Are young.
And if you see that they're students, my dear, how can you say 200K from students, come and stand this side? 100K, come and stand this side.
So, in our own time, it was even easier, because maybe all these Yahoo and these trends were not so big in operation or so big. But in this material time, do you know how many of these vices, people that run these vices, are in churches and mosques and places?
The thing is, churches are not obligated to, first of all, to pay tax. So you can't monitor them per se and say, this is how much a church is making, because it's not exactly a business. And of course, some people, because like in my church, some people give anonymously. They don't even want you to know where it's coming from. You're just going to receive this amount. So it happens a lot. But the sad thing is that, like he said, and what I give him kudos to, he's preaching and telling people there's some things you shouldn't receive, and there's some things you should question. And as you can see from that story, he was already led to ask this particular person, There's something about the money this guy
That's
brought.
coming.
He's been receiving money. But there's something about your money that something just led him to say, young man, where is this money from?
My school fees.
And then he now said his school fees. So it's great to put out this kind of message and tell students not to even bother, including rent. He said rent. So many things that people now decide to say, oh, this is what I'm going to sow. I remember a story, a friend of mine in Abuja, a long time ago. We were not broke, but she was basically broke. But I saw her with a huge amount of money, and she said that's the last thing she has. I said, so you have money now, you're not broke. She now said that no, that she has to send it to her pastor that he's going to pray for her. She says, I said, sorry? She now said, oh, she does that every month. She pays a certain amount for the pastor to pray for her.
That is not tithe?
And it's not tithe. She just said to pray for her. But I told her, but I can pray for you if you want. She was like, but you're not a pastor. So she was like, you're not a pastor. They were just... So some people have psychologically put themselves in that place whereby whatever it is a man of God does, they feel as if he has direct access to God and they don't. So for some reason, his words are more valuable than theirs.
That was what the symbolic tearing of the veil was about. But very quickly before we move from this, just only for gang, nobody else. Okay. So let's say the parents find out he's donated the money, and the parents go to the church and say, we want this money back. Do you think the church should return the money?
Yes, 110%.
But do you think the church
I said only for gang.
Are they within their right to not return the money?
No, they're not.
No. Only for gang.
Because only for gang.
Because you're a church. Your actions will show.
Obviously.
That the kind of church you are. As people give, you should also be willing to give and return. It's that simple.
Right. Simple. Catherine, let's move on. Next story.
We're not going on a break. Wow, I'm surprised. All right, so on our next hot topic, a man started dating a woman 3 months ago and feels the relationship is going well. However, when asked about the future of the relationship, he expressed that it was too early to make promises, including marriage. The woman saw this as a red flag, interpreting his reluctance to commit as confusion and pressuring him for clearer answers. The man seeks advice on how to assure her and let the relationship progress naturally without losing her trust. Hello, Ifedayo. A Tyeng man here, I think that's what we're called, if I'm correct. I just want to run this by you, and I hope I get an honest feedback from you and the ladies of the community. So, I started dating this gorgeous girl 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Things have been going very well, in my opinion, but apparently she didn't see it that way. She asked me where I see the relationship going, and I told her it's just been 3 months, but so far so good. She later said you mentioned to the community ladies that any man that cannot say yes or no is confused, and confusion is a red flag. If to be honest, this isn't me being confused. I just said the truth, that the relationship is going well, but she doesn't seem convinced. It's like she wants to hear something else, but I don't know what else I should tell her. I can't promise marriage or anything right now because I'm just letting things unfold. It's too early in my opinion, but I don't want to lose her. Can the ladies tell me what to say to make her just trust me and let's enjoy the process together and let things just happen naturally? All right? 3 months. Is that too soon?
Gang, you're the only guy on this table. And I think men, no. And I think men and women look at relationship timelines very differently.
Yeah. Yes, they do. And there is more pressure on the woman to settle than for the man. I don't know why it's society. But in all honesty, I don't know what you guys are going to say, but come on, 3 months? 3 months? Yeah. Come on.
Okay.
What are we?
After when I met you, I already envisioned my wedding.
Your pencils in the hand of the creator.
3 months. Yes. 3 months. Now, clearly he has been enjoying benefits of marriage in that 3 months, so she feels entitled to ask.
He might actually not have been. He might not have been. So she might have been in a relationship for like 10 years before they met, and then she would have said that time is going, I'm not in this relationship. I would actually blame the guy, because if you see someone who is willing and ready to settle down, you know from the body language, from the conversations, if you're not ready, don't say, oh, she's fine, this is just the problem, so we'll just go along and then I'll try and convince her that I'm not ready. There are people who are not in the relationship to get to know you. They just want to enter a relationship to collect ring. So if you're not ready as a guy, don't enter the relationship and start complaining. Because to be honest, some people are under pressure. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but if you are not under pressure, please. I've heard people tell me, oh, when I get into the next relationship, I must be married within 1 year. I'm like, okay, bye-bye. go and marry, you know, because I'm not under pressure.
Yeah.
You should know if you're not under, if you do not want, I mean, some things happen where you say, okay, I must date for 2 years, and then you get into a relationship and you fall so much in love and you feel like everything is so complete, and in 6 months you're married, right? That's a different thing. But both of you should be able to ride on the same frequency. It's not someone that is saying, and 3 months is too little a time to get to know the person well enough, right?
Exactly.
That's to say that this lady has been thinking about marriage before you came into the picture. So she's expecting you to play a particular script that you're not ready for. Please bounce.
Let me share some thoughts. I think a lot of people get into relationships just because they're lonely.
Yeah.
It's just
People don't know
loneliness.
how to be by themselves.
You get me?
Yeah.
You should be able to have a discussion before you now say, let this relationship kick off.
Yeah.
I know some people that said, I date to marry. So I'm not going to start dating you if the intention is not marriage.
Yeah.
So once you get into that kind of relationship, whether it's a month, 2 months, or 3 months, then you can say it's not too short because we know where we want to go to. Yeah. So these are conversations, like you said, that you should have before the relationship kicks off. If you haven't had that conversation and you bring all the baggage from a previous relationship in, you cannot demand him now to just align with you and be like, okay. Because everything he's saying, everything is going fine. Give it time.
Exactly.
So you can see now they're in disagreement already.
Absolutely.
She's saying one thing, but he's like, everything is going fine. I don't know yet. Give me time. I still want this, but give me time. And she wants to know now. There are a lot of people that are in 5-year engagements. I'm sure you've seen that movie. Yeah. I know somebody that was engaged for 2 years and ended up marrying somebody else. So that marriage that she's rushing for, some of us here are married and have been married. What are you rushing to get into this thing? What are you rushing to enter this thing?
Calm down. They said maybe it's pressure from family, pressure from... You can say,
are you wine? Are you grapes that they are juicing?
You can't spoil now.
Some people believe 3 months is solid enough. Go and be knowing yourselves in the marriage. You hear people say, you cannot know somebody finish.
Completely,
now. In 3 months, you must have known 1 or 2 things to know that, okay, I can live with this person, I cannot live with this person. Everybody's timeline is different. Blessing said so. For a woman, your timeline is far different from, even when we started, Tolu said the same thing. A woman's expectation or definition of time, her view is different from a man's view. And I feel here there wasn't clear communication. You see a chick you like, okay, let's see how things go. That's too vague. For women, a lot of women, you want specifics.
Yeah.
You like me, I like you, okay, but do you see me? It's not putting pressure. We just want to, I love how things are going. I understand that. But, okay, ask me again. Let's have this discussion again in 4 months. Or in 6 months. But now, but you're saying, I don't know. No, you gotta know.
When a guy starts to talk like that, honestly, I understand. Just for what everybody has said, expectations differ. And there are uniqueness to every relationship. There are relationships I have seen that started 1 month, they were married in 4 months. And I'm not even kidding you, they've been married for 25 years.
And there are people who are dating for 3 years.
There are people that are dating for 3 years.
They got
so
married,
it's not a determinant. So I totally toe in line with what Catherine said. You see, in this day and age, relationships differ for everybody. There are sometimes a man gets into a relationship and you're asking, okay, what do you see? Is this a friendship thing? You just want to have a good time? Honestly, I have gotten to that. If somebody had asked me this question 45 years ago, I would not have known, since you already know my age. So as a 70-year-old woman, you know, you'll be thinking like, this thing has to follow a pattern. But in this generation, there is so much uniqueness to everything. So asking a girl, for her to be asking specifically, there must be things the guy is doing that is putting her in confusion.
Yes.
Oh, we met 1 month. In 1 month, I've met every member of the family. In 1 month, I know almost everything about you. I know your account, I know this, I know that.
So
and yet when we're together,
don't give that kind of leeway to a woman and say, I don't know.
I want to ask Gang 2 questions. So one, the first question is, we're often told that men know when they know when they know. They know when this is the person. And they know early on, but sometimes they don't want to talk about it. So one, you have to tell us, is that true? The second part of my question is based on what Lola was saying in terms of the timeline and everything. When we look at all of this, men will tell you that they can't be honest with women. That they tell a woman, I'm not interested in a relationship, I'm not ready to be serious, I just want us to be friends, and let's just knock.
See how it goes.
What's that thing called? Let's be friendly ourselves with some benefits. That women can't take it, and so they don't tell. Meanwhile, the woman now thinks they're in a relationship, but the man is still thinking very clearly in his head, this is not my final bus stop. She's just somebody I'm keeping company with.
Okay, here's the thing. I think that's also some of the reasons why men lie. Because sometimes they want to tell you what you want to hear. This lady in 3 months' time, this is what she wants to hear. But at the same time, women say, be honest with me and tell me the truth.
Yes.
So he has told the truth. It's 3 months. It's too early for me. That's the truth. So when he tells you the truth and you don't accept it, he might now feel, okay, I need to lie to this girl and tell her that I see this getting into marriage. I'll propose to you pretty soon. And the pressure is now at a time when he's not ready.
That's wrong.
That has discouraged him. And then the woman will go along with the relationship. And then at some point you feel as if because of the pressure that's on him, she's not the one I want to marry. So when the time is right,
he breaks it off.
He breaks it off.
So do you guys know when you know?
Most times we know when we know.
How early do you know?
Now, for me, let me just speak for myself. Sometimes, for me, I have friends that I know are great, will make great wives. When I met you, I think I even told you something like that. I said, Tolu's a great girl.
Oh,
wow. You know people.
Did you tell that to Mr. B?
Huh?
I said it when I see it.
You get me? For my wife, when I was dating my wife, I knew at some point in a matter of months that this is somebody that I can marry and I want to marry.
What made you say that? What are the things you saw that stood out for you? I'm not talking qualities, but there just had to be something for you that made you say, this is somebody I can
I'm going to share a story I've never shared before. Now, and she doesn't know this. My older brother, he's not in the country at the moment. He asked me a certain question and he made a statement. He said, does she make you want to better yourself?
Word.
And my response was yes. I felt at the time, I was doing that radio thing in Abuja, how much I was making. I felt I need to be a better man to keep up with this girl. I need to improve on this. I need to work on myself. I need to do this and do this because of this, the way this person is just a complete angel and asset. That's when I knew that this is not somebody I want to lose. Because she makes me,
I think we should
she makes me feel that way.
I think we should just ask that guy. Does she make you want better?
I also wanted to say that there's a kind of pressure that births pretense, right? You hear a lot of people say things like, oh, she's an amazing person. And then once both of you agree that, oh, I think we want to get married, you now start seeing differences. She starts to nag. And you're like, no, she has changed. No, she didn't change. She just got very comfortable because she believes that both of you get married. I mean, I've seen people that say, no, even if it's not working, if I'm cheating, we are in this together because we promised each other marriage. No, you are not in anything together. Wow. Please free each other of that bondage. Sadly, our time is up and we have to go. A big, big thank you to Gang. Gang.
He's part of the Jazziri gang.
Loved it.
He loved it. And if Kira's not taking, we'll have him back again. But, it's always a pleasure sitting at the table with the ladies. So let's do this again all week long next week. See you on Monday at 10 a.m. West African time. Bye-bye.
Why do you make the ladies sound like, the ladies?
What is this supposed to sound like?
Girl.
What is this supposed to sound like?